Pass. Pass.
All right, this looks like it's going to be one of the harder ones. I'm doing handicap 8.
Pass.
But he is taking it a little bit differently than most people. When you take a more defensive position on my handicap, it does make it harder for me because
Most
the more
people.
defensive you go,
When
the
you
more
take
the
a more
harder it is for me to
defensive-
actually disrupt territory. So if you
Pass.
actually take handicap 8 this way, it is significantly harder for me to actually invade, which actually makes it more interesting, realistically. So this is 6. We're going to do 8.
Pass.
Like on the scoreboard, it won't show up as such, but realistically, like it actually makes it harder for me than the usual handicap 8. And it makes the
Pass.
game more interesting because it makes the games like very, very different for handicap 8. Usually, like they just take the regular corners and stuff, but this does make it a little different, and it makes the dynamic of the game different, and you'll probably see a couple of different things as far as I'm playing, because I can't actually. It's just more it just does make it more difficult for me overall to do handicap 8 in this particular manner, because since all the corners are already secure, I can't just approach the corners. I've never had someone do that before, actually. I can't go this way. I guess I can kind of, I guess this is fine, because then, I actually don't know which one of these connections is right, but that's fine. See, he already has this stone, so he doesn't need an extra stone. So this one is a little bit harder to actually gauge. This is very, very hard for me to invade. That's not the one I've chosen. I would have probably secured this corner, but this isn't bad. I can't keep doing the same thing, otherwise I am actually going to lose. The thing is, if you play normal moves, if you actually play normal moves and force me to create a handicap like this, it's much, much harder for me to win. I'm going to try to capture certain stones. I'm definitely going to try to capture certain stones. But the thing is, like, if you just play like regular safe moves, it is much more difficult for me to win this game on handicap 8, because it forces me to scatter more. And it depends on a lot of like on fighting strength to see if I can actually win these games, because it's very hard for me to out territory you if you already have several secure corners. Like, none of my groups are strong. They're all, well, I guess this one's okay. Like, I'm going to have to let him surround me. I don't really have that much of a choice. I do have to let him surround these 2 stones, because I really can't play normally here. But I'm trying to kill these 2 stones now. Oh, it's very, very dangerous and risky. But it's I don't it's because you don't the choice is not always that makes it a little easier for me. Okay, so surrounding that group now. I haven't done these type of moves very often, mainly because I don't like doing them. But in this type of situation, it's pretty much required. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that doesn't actually work for me, unfortunately. Because that actually doesn't work that well. I have to go over here first. Just so many problems playing this way because you're essentially fishing for mistakes. You're not really, you're definitely not playing like the more standard way. And he's actually playing very safely. So, like I said, it does make it a lot harder for me to actually play against. It doesn't necessarily have to answer that as a thing. I think this fixes the cut, but it doesn't really help me all that much. You know, it really surprises me how well some of these guys play. On certain moves. Because I can't really get large swaths of territory for this. I'll deal with that later. Jeez. This isn't the way I regularly want to play, but this person, he's not really making any actual mistakes here. I mean, that wasn't a great move, but because you can't actually kill me over here, but I think I'm just going to come back here. He still has this, though, which is something I'm a little bit afraid of. But the thing is, like, it's really hard for me to get any kind of territory here. This is generally not like the strength of someone I can actually give 8 stones to, for the most part. Thing is, by doing this, he more or less like fixed this problem. I have to come over this. So I do have to do this just to make sure that this is alive. Yeah, it's fine. That you can't do. Hey guys. Which one of those will he actually give up? They're both bad options to give up, but fishing? It's not been good. Fishing is, I mean, I haven't really fished in a while because it keeps snowing. Like, the ice on the lake is like crap, but it keeps snowing. And that doesn't do me very well. Yeah, it's very hard for me to win in this case. Primarily because I don't really have anything to attack right now. And I have to keep making invasions. And the thing is, if he can secure his territory, it's incredibly hard for me to win on 8 stones. Because it's just huge, it's a huge advantage to start with. And I have so many weak groups that he can attack. Like, I have to randomly bump into things, basically, to try to get something to happen. And there isn't a really big way for me to generate any kind of real points here. So this is actually a classic example of how you actually win with a high handicap. It's a very classic example of how you win with a high handicap. Because like if you're playing someone with a really high handicap, you get spotted so many points and you just have to not lose them. No, I don't think the handicap is like too high. The handicap, I mean, it was 8 handicap for a 12Q, so I think the handicap was actually fine. But I've left a lot of groups for him to actually attack. And he hasn't really like gotten pulled into any like unreasonable fights. I've separated myself a little too much. That wasn't a good move, but I've separated myself into like too many fights. But you can see like I have so many weak groups that if he picks any of them off, I'm in a lot of trouble. Like I have to come back and like care about this group now. Now you just connect on that one. Yeah, that's fine, but not the way I would do it. Definitely. I'm gonna have to go on this group just to make sure it's alive. I might be able to start something up here later, but it's kind of. I mean, if he lets me get that last one, it's alive. So. That's not that important, but it's an okay way to go. I have to get rid of his territory because I don't really have any territory myself, and that's actually quite it's very very difficult for me to do. And there's all sorts of cuts everywhere for me, so it's definitely much harder than it actually should be. Things must have been brutal before Comey was a thing. Maybe. I guess I can just take the 2, but then he gets this down here, which is not great. Definitely less great than I would have hoped. He's giving me those 2. Yeah. But I can't really give him that because I'll lose if I give him that. That I really don't think you wanted to do. Because this opens this up. And there's a lot of things I can sacrifice. Yeah, see like that down there, I can just give you this now for that. I mean, I'm still losing right now, for sure. But I'm slowly gaining a little bit back at a time. There is still a big problem here, though. I'm actually quite weak here. There's not much I can do about that. You know what? I could have. Oh, I should have played the Ko. Oh my man, I messed up. I should have played the Ko. I should have 100. Oh, well, if he gives me that, then it's fine. But I 100% should have played that Ko. I can do that later. It's not a big deal. I do need to come up and fix this. I don't know if I'm winning or losing now, but he should have connected those 4 for sure. But he still has a lot of territory over here. That is I don't think that's necessary because he can't actually threaten me here. It's not. I can still do this. I can 100% still do this. But I don't know if that's big or not. This is actually alive because of the sequence I can play here. But I still don't have a huge amount of territory except for this, right? There is a little bit of potential here, but not really. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I can still do this. This is the corner's definitely not locked down. And remember, these 3 are sacrificable. Those 3 aren't really like that big. I might do that anyways, but you know. The whole point is like all these are completely trapped in now, so the corner is sacrificable. Not the corner, but those are actually sacrificed. Like the corner's not locked down. That most likely wasn't a great move at this point. Because there's probably bigger things on the board, but yeah, you can always do that. This is where like something like this gets really big. Not because I can threaten any of his groups, but because like there's just some points in there. There are points in the middle. I'm not really sure what's the best way to get them though. So here he can play this. The 4 are fairly large, so I'm just going to connect it. At least 8 or 9 points. So 8 or 9 points is worth saving at this point. I think I was just like mostly I don't know why he did that, but like I've basically just used confusion to win over here, but this is a usury move because you can pull this out. Unless he does that. And then you can use this to destroy his center territory. It's fine. That was mission accomplished. I destroyed his potential in the center. That was the entire mission, and that was mission successful. That was 1 point. He didn't need to block there, so I didn't want him to Atari here, so that's why I did that. I don't know what else I will actually do. I guess this is okay. That's probably worth blocking, right? Okay, that's fine. What else? I think this is okay. There's still a couple of points potential in here. He doesn't need to connect this though, because there's nothing threatening it. I will cut, but these 3 aren't really in danger. Oh, I learned when I was like 6 from my dad. I learned a long time ago from my dad. So I've been playing for quite a while. I can come out this way because I have the connection over here. Honestly, there's not that many points fighting in there, so I'm not really sure what I'm even doing that for.
秒読み
I'm going to go ahead and do this. Tari. Let's go ahead and take that. If I played, I did play chess in high school a little bit, but not very much. I would like their chess and Go are different. Chess is more of a micro game where chess is more like one battle determines everything, where Go is much more of a macro game. They're different concepts. I think I think they're both pretty hard to master, but the thing is like Go conceptually is harder to start. That's what I would say. I would say Go conceptually is a harder game to actually start on. Just because, like, it's mainly because Go concepts are a lot more abstract than chess concepts. And the board's bigger, so, like, there's more combinations that you can actually play. Whereas chess Go swings much more. Now, chess can definitely swing in one move. If you make like a wrong like castle or something, you can easily lose the game. But you can easily swing chess in one move. Oh, there's a double Atari right here. I completely forgot about this. You can definitely swing chess in one move. But like on a macro level, Go's a little bit harder to understand. The board's bigger. There's more different combinations of moves you can do. One loss. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like when you're playing against like the best masters, definitely. But you know, like it's like Go. When you're lower in rank, there's more room for error when you're lower in rank. Like giving an 8-stone handicap is pretty much like giving a queen handicap in chess. So like, if you're at an adequate level of play, even the best players in the world can't give you 7 or 8 handicap because there's just so many mistakes you can actually make. Like once you get to the 1-2 dan level, like it would be hard for even like the best players in the world to give you 7 or 8 handicap because you know the basic concepts. I actually think there's more room for error in Go than chess because the board is so small. You have a finite number of pieces, and if you lose like at the higher level, if you lose like a knight, if you actually lose like a knight or something, if you screw up and lose a knight at the beginning, you basically lose the game. So I do actually think there's more room for error in Go than chess, for the most part. But you know, at the lower level, there's like room for error for like in both at the lower level. At the higher level you go up, the less room for error there is. Because like when you make an error, like at the higher level, when you make an error, it's much less likely that your opponent's going to make an error to compensate for your error. So that's why it gets a lot harder. Errors are just like, even small errors are much less forgiving the further you go up in rank. So obviously like the higher level play is just more intricate, but that's true with most games. The mistakes are smaller. No, I mean it's just what's traditional in between the West and the East. I think I think in terms of complexity, both games are pretty complex. In my opinion, it's just that whichever one you learn first, I suppose. Oh, that's a good one. And the way and Go handles Komi a lot better than chess. Like Go handles like handicap way better than chess, and it's because of the structure of the game. Like you can just spot points in Go for handicap. You can't really just spot points in chess. I learned chess quite young. Yeah, I mean, like I've known how to play both for a long time. But I mean, I just learned Go more. I feel like I probably could have gotten around. I probably could have gotten around to 2000, 2100 elo in chess if I really learned chess when I was younger as well. Because they both work off the same logical concepts as each other. They're a little bit different, but like they both work off the same logical concepts. But Go at the beginning is just a lot more abstract than chess is. I think what gave me the game was like him actually like letting me take these four. He could have just if he connected those four, he probably would have won. Find it is harder for me to see ahead in chess than with Go. It really depends. I mean, like because it could be because the pieces are mobile in chess rather than in Go, but like I don't find it that hard to read in either one. Cause like both games come down to like what you think your opponent is likely to play. And at the high level, there's only one or two options. Like when I'm fighting these fights, I'm like, there's only really one or two options where you can actually play. So it's not that hard. Like same thing with chess. Like when I'm watching chess, sometimes it's like, well, I don't play chess nearly as well, but when I'm watching, I'm like, there's really one place you can actually play. That's not anything. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill this in. I think this is fine, yeah. If he cuts here, oh yeah, that's fine because he can't extend down over there. If he does this, I'm just gonna Atari here. So you don't need to fix anything in here. This game is still very close. I think it's pretty close anyways. Yeah, you can just Atari here.
Pass. Remove the dead stones.
Okay, it's not as close as I thought. I'm actually pretty bad at counting if I don't actually count.
You have
I
one.
don't think I counted. Oh yeah. White's there's real. I mean, you're right, Silver Dragon. You're actually right. Silver Dragon made this variation. Yes, this is dead. I realize. I've realized that that's actually dead. There's no way I should have been able to live that, but I'm counting on the difference in strength because if there's not a difference in strength, obviously I can't give him 8 stones. So the 8 stone with an 8 stone handicap, you're really relying on the difference in strength. So I'm playing here. You play here. This is perfectly fine. That's also fine. For a handicap 8 game, I definitely would play like either here or here. If you secure your territory, it's very difficult for me to actually win. So that's fine. I would have probably just played this on this kind of game. If he extends in, I'm going to Hane here. And if he takes this territory, that's fine as well. I'm going to basically pincer this and force him to do something over here. So like when the opponent has a lot of different groups, weak groups, you can attack any of them. That's actually not bad either, because now this is a weak group. This is the best move to go because I don't have any eye space and it forces me to like either come up here or do something like this. As long as you keep my groups weak and you keep attacking them and make territory while attacking them, you're probably going to win the game. in this type of scenario. I'm going to try to put pressure on these two. Usually I would definitely not go here. Usually I would probably just play here, or actually I don't really know where I would play here. I might even try this, because that forces you to answer, and I do that. But this time I wanted to just have the option of jumping into the corner later to deprive some points. That's why I did that, but that's generally not the best way to go. Handicap go is, look, I mean, handicap go, it depends on what the handicap is. Like on a handicap 8 game, you have to, like, in a handicap 8 game, you do actually have to, like, play very differently. If you play normally, you're not going to win because he just has a bunch of stones on the board that you don't. So this is a good move. You could also just go for this. You can honestly just go for this. It's next to impossible. Like, if you go for this, it's next to impossible for me to live without giving you a lot of territory. If you just surround me, I don't really have any real way of getting out. Even if you do this and you just let me come out here, that's perfectly fine. As long as you're alive here, you at least you get all this territory on bottom. And I just don't have any territory. So if you can secure that territory, you're pretty good for the most part in a handicap game. So yeah, handicap, like you can just if you surround my stones and you play like kind of lightly, it is really difficult for me to actually pull back. Because like even if I jump in here, like even if I jump in here, like there's still not 2 eyes here. So I play this. Yeah, this you should definitely do that because if I live here somehow, let's just say I live somehow, right? Let's just say I live somehow, right? Like this is these stones are basically dead. Playing lightly means like you have a bunch of stones you can sacrifice. If you have a bunch of stones, you have a lot of stones, they're harder to sacrifice than like 1 or 2 stones entirely. This play is fine as well. You're splitting up my groups. Yeah, this would probably be better because the thing is, like, I only really have 1 eye here, and I don't have any eyes for Yuhane. So you can just attack my group as I try to come out, and basically use my group's weakness to make territory because this move is always here for black. But you have to fix this first, but. That move is always there for black, so you want to take advantage of my very weak group to help you make the thing is, like, you want to take advantage of my very weak group to help you build territory. This you really want to do this. Always want to do that first. If white doesn't answer, you have the option of just cutting the 2 stones and gaining the corner. If white actually answers, then he doesn't really have nearly as much eye space here. So usually you don't want to give away this liberty, but here here it actually makes a big difference onto white's eye space, because if white connects, he's basically alive. You can't really kill him. But if you push here, white doesn't have 2 eyes, so it does make a difference in this scenario to actually like push. Yeah, you should still push first, but it might be better for you just to do that. If I cut you, then I'm the one that's going to die here. I don't have enough liberties. And if I do, like, if I try to go here, you can always go here first. And then, if you go here, you can always just kill this group first. Or at least attempt to kill it first. I don't think there's a way for me to actually live here. So I don't really have any eyes. And it is, I mean, like, that's just, there's basically no way out of that. So more or less, yeah. More or less, realizing that this group is very weak, and if you actually use the advantages you can get to surround me when I'm trying to live this group over here, you can actually kill this group, and if you kill this group, you win. So it's a lot of handicap games for the lower ranked player is playing securely, but it's also like if you really want to get to that higher rank, you do need to learn how to use the weakness of one group to try to attack another group. And if you can actually learn how to do that, you can get into SDK pretty easily. And even advance above SDK. This is going to be the biggest move for a long time. And I know that this is the biggest move, but I'm not going to play it because like I can't play orderly on handicap 8. I can't just play this and let you kill these 2 stones, because if I do, then I just lost like a big opportunity here to make like a big dent in this black plus 88.6, unfortunately. So I'm going to do that first, Atari first, and then come down here. Remember, like, since you have this one here, like, this group is extremely weak. If you actually push here, I would have to sacrifice these 2 in order to find some way to get out of this. This group is essentially dead at this point, as long as you push. You do have to realize that, like, as I'm making this group alive, this group is getting weaker and weaker, and you're getting more stones and thickness here. So you got to use that. Connect this first. This group is also really weak. So I got a bunch of, like, my conundrum is I've got a bunch of weak groups, and I need to figure out what to do with them. I'm going to do that first. Yeah, I would probably just retreat on this one. But yeah, this is probably the best move because it basically like denies me eyes right there. Like the computer is actually assuming that we're playing even. That's why it's making the moves that it's suggesting. If you actually played Kata on 8 stones and you have the right engine, it wouldn't make the moves it's suggesting because it has to play aggressive on 8 stones. So I come up. This move is not very good because it doesn't threaten me that much. The most you can do, like if I ignore you, the most you can do is Ko to cut off these 3. And a Ko to cut off these 3 right now is probably not that severe. So doing this, I didn't respond. I basically did this. I should have just connected because connecting actually makes me alive, more or less. I did this, I got that, and then I finally connected. So like, the thing is, I finally connected after all of this because you threw a stone here that wasn't really that threatening. And now white is actually alive. Go over top, do that. I'm going to go just to try to strengthen this group. Now the thing is, like, you need to try to attack this group. This stone right here is kind of a wasted stone. I mean, so is this, obviously. I just wanted to break through. But, like, the thing is, I still got Sente after this, so it's fine for me. This stone is a wasted stone because I'm not going to try to push out. I can't really push out here. This group is not under any threat because even if it gets surrounded, you play S11 and it's alive. So there's no threat to this group. This group is very weak. So you need to basically use this side to actually start attacking this group. And the thing is, it doesn't really matter if this group gets away, as long as you can use attacking this group to make the territory down here. Now, as a stronger player, I would actually just invade without securing this group. But in an even game, like if you can actually use attacking this group to actually make your territory down here, it's a big advantage to you. We do a lot of trades here. I'm going to leave that alone and do this. This is the best move because if you think about this move, it denies me eye space here and it increases your eye space there. This doesn't really do all that much. It does get you out a little bit. It doesn't really threaten this group because as long as I Hane here, I'm alive. And it doesn't save the stone, which actually solidifies my group here. So I'm going to do this just to try to get a little bit of influence here. This is still always going to be the best move because it denies me eye space and it also secures more of your eye space. So you do that. I'm going to come up here. This is a bad white's move here is a bad move. I was just seeing that if you would actually do this or like if you would do some. I was just testing for your response with this move. But this is technically a bad move because even if this didn't exist, if you go out, it's hurting my group down here. So you do go out here. But like we're not playing the key move here because this is the key move, because if you move here, this white group is pretty much, it is very, very much under threat. But if I take this stone, it's not under threat anymore. So this is a critical move here. You invade here. I'm going to counter invade. You do that. I'm just going to secure this group right now. This isn't really, this move, like, it's better if you just try to cut off these two. You're not going to be able to kill this group because I have this corner here now. So I know you're trying to secure those two stones, but those two stones aren't that weak because this stone's kind of weak right now. So I think it'd be better. I mean, obviously this move is still the best move, but outside of that, like, just maybe cutting these two off right now would be better. So I'm going to connect these two. That doesn't really make much sense because that actually just helps me run out. So I'm going to come out. He's going to come out more. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And this particular move isn't that great because you can still do this. And you can just kind of retreat here. It's not that big of a deal. Do here, here. Well, I mean, you can even just block and just, does this work? Yeah, I think that's alive. If this is alive, then this group is definitely under threat. Now, it's not nearly as good as it was because you played this move, but you can still cut this move off and have it be under threat. Yeah, this does exist, but the ladder obviously doesn't work for me, I don't think. Does it? It actually might. I don't think it does. No, it actually does head over there. Oh, I do have those over there. So yeah, I guess you can't do that, but yeah, this is still the right move. If I push, you can just come back. And I can't actually do that because if you do this, I'm actually in a lot of trouble. Here, this is a co for this group. This is a co for this group, and now this group's completely cut off. So while I did get this group in here, like now, like this group's in a lot of trouble, and that stone's probably going to be dead too. And plus, you have the co in here, so it's pretty bad for white. If he tries to charge through, he can get this group to live, but then like his corner group is co. His corner group is actually co, and this group's completely cut off. But now, like, you know, I'm essentially alive. I extend this out first. And you should just come down here because, once again, this group is very, very weak. I didn't want you to get the Hane. That's why I did that. And I know this move is still here. So that's why I kind of needed to do that. You try to surround me. Like, the thing is, like, you're trying to surround me on the outside, but surrounding me on the outside doesn't actually do anything if I'm already alive down here. So before you surround me on the outside, you need to make sure I'm not actually alive down here. So you surround me on the outside. I'm just going to take this, come down. I'm going to finish this out. And this is definitely a bad move because it's, also I made a mistake here. I should have just done this because if you connect here, I'm going to just get this. All right, so I made a mistake, which way to Atari, but I Atari'd this way. Connection, and this is just a double Hane. Also, you can't take this because I can Atari this way. So you couldn't actually connect that way. So I went ahead and did this Atari. I'm pretty sure like this would have been the better move. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that would have probably been better. Slightly better. Just going to take it, get rid of this territory here, and it's pretty clean. But I could have just not taken that as well because I'm already alive down here. That's not bad. I'm going to invade right away because I can't, like, there's no way I'm going to win if I let you have this bottom territory. That's why I invaded right away. This is the biggest move now because I have to answer. If I don't answer, even if I do something like this, you just take the corner. That's a lot of territory, and these are extremely weak. So I come up, you do this. I'm going to, like the entire time here, I'm trying to get Sente so I can get this move. Here you should just extend up. You don't really want to be giving me a way to come out this way because I have a way to actually connect this way. So I think you finally gave me a chance to get the Sente, I believe. Yeah, and I just took it. The whole time I was kind of fishing for a Sente just to do this move. You don't really need to answer this. You don't really need to answer this. This group isn't under threat, so that's really just 2 or 3 points. Do that. I extend in there. That's kind of a strange move. Yeah, I mean, like, I understand that you don't want me to do that, but I was going to be able to do that anyways. So that, I'm going to extend down here. If you let me extend there, I'm actually alive, obviously, so you do that. And then I'm going to come up this way to make sure this group is secure. Then I'm just going to make sure this group is alive. There's no reason to extend here, actually. I don't think I can, like, because you have this stone here, I can't just connect back because you have this cut here. So you definitely should try to surround me. This move is very key because not only does it surround this group, it also like puts a lot of pressure on that stone. So this is definitely a kind of a wasted move here. This is just fish. This is just fishing for a response, because I'm pretty certain that you're gonna block. If it was me, I wouldn't block. I wouldn't actually play this. This is just going to be a lot bigger. This puts pressure on this stone here. And the most I can do down here is do this. So it's just not really that big. It costs you maybe 4 or 5 points. Yes, I can probably live down here. But if you play this stone, I still have to kind of like run a little bit. And then you can just use that to kill this stone. So like using this, the whole thing about these handicap games and in even games too, is like using other people's weak groups to take advantage and like win the game that way. I think I need to start asking myself. Yeah. So especially if you're in the SDKs, if you're like 8K, 9Q, trying to move up to like, much higher levels like 1-2 Dan, you need to do a lot of serious asking. Like, do I need to answer everything that my opponent plays? And a lot of times, like, it's going to be no. Especially when I'm playing you in these handicap games, I'm going to be fishing for moves. Because like if I don't fish for moves, I don't get those small advantages. And it's those small advantages that eventually add up. So I'm going to do this to fish for a move. He blocks, that's fine. And then I'm going to come out this way. The thing is, like, I know that this is the best. I know that this is probably the best overall move. But the thing is, like, I need to take a little advantages right now. So I'm going to do that. He's going to come here. So you're basically forcing me to take these 2 stones. But the thing is, like, in an even game, I would just extend. I would definitely just extend in an even game. But the thing is, like, since you have a bunch of extra stones on the board, and I know for the fact that, like, if you kill this stone, I've basically lost. It doesn't really matter that I've actually gotten the score down from, like, -80 to, like, -37. Because it doesn't matter how much you lose by and go. Like, you lose by a point, you lose. You lose by 100 points, you lose. So, like, the thing is, I'm gonna have to take some risks and play some not so great moves to actually get out of this situation. So I'm gonna try to move this particular stone out. So the best move here is to Hane. Yeah, like if I don't answer the Hane, if I just do this, you could possibly kill this group. You can probably kill this group just by extending. And if you kill this group, it doesn't even matter if I kill this group. I'm not going to have enough territory. So my dilemma right now is to answer both groups at once. By you answering that and giving me this Hane makes it a lot easier for me. Just cutting is the best move because it just gives me a situation where I don't really see a solution. Because if you actually cut, if you Atari this way, this group is pretty much dead. If you extend that way, that group is pretty much dead. So it leaves me in a conundrum of like, and it makes me unsure of what to do. If you just cut. This is bad because now since you did this, like if I actually cut here, which is exactly what I did, like I'm actually threatening these 3. And if you Atari here, I'm still threatening these 3. If you Atari this way, then you're almost pretty much giving up those three. So you put yourself in a really strong bad bind. This so he plays here. I'm just going to extend downward and capture those two. That's fine. That helps me capture those two. And here, like, this move doesn't really make that much sense because there's not much I can do with this move. These two are safe. You can just connect. So if you play this move, it actually seals all this territory in, and you're way ahead. So this is kind of another kind of wasted move there, and it's very big. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I know you have to answer this, and if I do this, I know I can come out this way and do that. Obviously, you have to connect this. If you don't connect that, like if you connect this, think like if I connect this, you can just cut here. It's actually Sente. If I do this, you can just cut here, and I'm just kind of dead. So there's really not much I can do here. So you definitely have to connect that. The not connecting that thing is a huge mistake. Didn't connect. I took the stones. So that's actually, if you look at the score, that's actually like a 20-point swap right there. You're at plus 22.7. Now you're at plus 2.7. So that's actually a 20-point mistake right there. I did this first just to make sure that you couldn't do this. I don't think this is as much of a threat now, but I just made sure. This is also you don't have to respond to. You already have these two. You already have these two stones. So there's actually no reason to respond to this. You're not under threat. This is worth like 1 or 2 points. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the corner. Oh, I made a mistake here. I should have played this. So I'm going to go ahead and take the corner. This move, once again, it's not worth all that much because you're only really securing 2 or 3 points in here. So this is not worth that much. I'm going to go ahead and get this Hane because I know that's generally Sente, and Sente moves are always fine to play. I'm going to play this because I know the corner is worth like 4 or 5. And then it doesn't matter how I answer that. That's fine. Where do you go? Oh, I don't really understand this move because you're not under threat. I can't play in here anyways, so this move is actually worth like 0 points. So I'm going to play here because it's obviously Sente. I force you to do that and then extend. I wanted to destroy any kind of potential this way. And you made like 2 points here, but you gave me another Sente, so I'm going to go over there and force you to do that. I'm going to come down. So like, because if you play here, I don't have to respond, but this is worth a couple. Like, you destroy some of my points while getting more points for yourself. So coming down here, I secure these two. You don't have to respond to me right here. Oh, the judgment call of like, do I have to respond is always hard. Like, that's one of the things in Go you never quite master, and you're always trying to figure it out. Like, because once you get more advanced, like you're calculating like, do I trade, like if I do this, I'm trading this many points for that many points, or you're trading influence for territory, and it's really hard to gauge. But like something like this is really easy. What happens if I don't do this move? Well, he does that and I lose 1 point. So obviously that's not a good answer. See, he's essentially answering every one of my moves. So the negatives on his move are going to outweigh the negatives on my move. So I'm slowly inkling out like a lead here. I'm not really sure what that was for. If he cuts here, I can just come back this way. So slowly he's just like this one, that doesn't really make much sense either. You either ignore me, you either ignore me here, or you just connect. Letting me take this and then wasting another move doesn't really make that much sense. You're not gaining anything here, and you just gave me a point for no apparent reason. So that's the thing. So I'm going to play here. That's worth a couple of points. Yeah, like, the thing is, like, when you're seeing me play, like, weaker players, even in the 5-6Q level, you'll see me go into the end game almost even with them because of the handicap, then I'll end up winning by, like, 20-30 points because of the end game. So, like, if you can improve your end game, like, like if you can improve your endgame from like a 6-7 Q level to like a Dan level, even if you don't improve anything else, you would probably improve by like two stones or more. So I'm just gonna do that. Here, I don't understand that answer, but I mean like here this is too passive. Atari here first, connect. Because you're like, eventually he let me have 4 points here. Now I don't really have any points. Well, 1 point there. So now that's like giving up another 3 points there. So these small things do matter because remember, after this move, like after he gave up those 4, black was still ahead by 2 points, but now black's down by 8 points. So from all these exchanges, he lost over 10 points. And then like from here, it's a series of him answering me more. It's a series of him like answering me more. Oh, by the way, is like the reason it's telling you to do this is because this is actually all Sente, and you make me fill in 2 point Sente. That's why Katago is saying that. So I'm taking just like small things, but once again, I'm taking a lot more Sente than he is. I don't really know what that was for, but like. I'm taking a lot more Sente than he is, and because of that, I'm slowly eking out another lead. Like I just went up by another 10 points out of all these like small trades. So these small, and 10 points is like, more than just like the Comey difference. So like I was able to eke out a more than 2 stone advantage at the end just because I played more efficiently and I took more Sentes than he did. So in the end, Sente is kind of a forcing move. It's like a move that other people have to answer. Sente is a move that other people have to answer. So, just by taking those small advantages, I gained like 25 points at the end when it seemed like there was nothing to gain. So, and if you see me playing Katago, like the computer will be doing like the exact same thing to me because he knows how to exactly force. So, yeah, just improving those things will improve you by that much. But mainly this game was about like knowing how to use different weak groups, like knowing how to attack weak groups to actually gain advantages, and attacking multiple weak groups at once just to make not to kill the groups specifically, but to gain territory. I'm going to play another game here. And yeah, anyone can actually take the challenge if anyone wants to take the challenge. Is it worth playing the AI more than humans? Playing the 9-Dan AI, probably for lower ranked players, probably not. Because the thing is, like, if you play me, you can actually get to my level. If you play like Kata Micro, you're never going to be able to get to that level because that's not reachable. So like, and the AI plays in a very calculated fashion. No, I think overall playing against the AI does help a little bit, but you shouldn't try to copy the AI. There's a lot of players that play against me that try to copy the AI, and then they just end up like dying even more because the AI can calculate 40 moves in advance. So when the AI makes that move against me, it works. Yeah, I think if you set it just to a level above you, it does help you. But remember, the computer plays in a very formulaic way. It doesn't have the randomness that humans do, so it's not as effective as playing other human players. Like the AI really, I think when you're at like a really high level, the AI does help you because you're basically playing against the best in the world, and you don't have to like leave your house to do that. So I think at a very high level, it helps you. But setting the AI to a level just above you, I think does actually help. It does actually help, but not quite as much as playing humans. Yeah, at this point, like, I don't think humans can actually... At this point, I do not actually think humans can ever catch the computer in chess or Go. Like, our brain just doesn't... Oops. Our brain just does not have that kind of calculative ability.
Game started.
So 7Q, we're going to give 3 stones. So I'm going to wait for him to play. I've actually lost 2 games against 7Qs. I've actually lost 2 games against 7Qs, giving handicap 3. That seems to be kind of like my Achilles heel right now because You're at like at 7Q, you're at that level where you understand some of like what you have to, some of how to attack and kill, and I'm giving you a decent advantage for 3. I mean, it's not the full handicap, but it is was Alpha. I mean, maybe the first iteration of AlphaGo was beaten multiple times, but not like but not the latest version. Like right now, the latest version of like Alpha Zero or Layla Go, they can give the best professional players like maybe like a 3 handicap or something. I think that's like the difference between them. Or recently, maybe they found some. They might have been able to find some bug on it. I'm not sure. They might have been actually able to find some bug on it. This is not a best way to start. This makes me a lot stronger, and it splits you. It makes you a lot weaker here. So you have to keep playing this. Definitely not a great way to start here. Now it does make this group here a little bit weaker. I'll give you that. But it definitely helps white in terms of like outside influence. You did get an extra move here though, so maybe not too bad. Thing is, it can then train that weakness away. It can, yes. It definitely has to be a specific weakness that they can exploit. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to beat the AI. Like, the calculative ability of a computer is just going to be way bigger than a human. Yeah, sure, I'll do this. This doesn't really make you much stronger, though. I'm going to ignore that and just go here. The basic concept of this... That's a weird thing to do. But anyways, the basic concept of the corner Joseki is white gets a little bit of corner territory, black gets black gets influence on the outside, and can force white over here. But right now, like, I've broken... There's no influence for black here, and I've gotten some of the side, so I think overall it's good for me. See ya, see ya. That's actually a risky play that I just did. I actually probably shouldn't have done that. I should have just played, that's fine for me now, but like, I definitely should have just played like P15 or something. Because now this is not good for me. That's not a good move for him. The shape that he's building is really bad. The shape that he's actually building is very bad. And this is not a shape that you want. Just going to go ahead and play that because that does have a lot to do with the influence over here. And he has to play. That's also not very good because it gives me a free Hane. Like, I'm playing on the outside, he's actually playing on the inside. So it is a little bit problematic for him. I can also come down here, but right now I'm not going to. Right now... Yeah, that's kind of that actually is really surprising to me. Because like there has to be some kind of weakness that they're exploiting, right? Who is on the level below top amateur beat the machine by taking advantage of previous unknown flaw that had been identified by another computer. Yeah, I mean, like, that's actually really surprising. That's really not something that I would actually expect. That's definitely not something I would actually expect. See, I'm not really afraid of him attacking this anymore. I'm not really afraid of him attacking that anymore. Here I probably should have just solidified this, but whatever. Because like since I actually have taken this stone, this group is actually pretty strong. Should I cap? Yeah, I'm gonna cap. That's not a good move. It makes my yeah, it makes this stick a lot stronger against the bottom. I still have this cut. I'm not going to do it because it allows him to do things on the bottom that I don't want him to do. That I think I'm just going to ignore. Mission accomplished. We're going to just ignore that now. I don't know about that. You're basically giving me this side. Well, you're not quite giving me this side, but my mission's accomplished here. Okay, that I don't have to respond to. I am just going to try to capture this. If you Atari here, I can just counter Atari here. The thing is, like, the amount of points I gain here, it's just as much or greater as the territory he could have destroyed down there. I think I'm going to go ahead and do that just to break out of, just so he doesn't have too much influence up here. He spends another move capturing the stone. It's perfectly fine. I don't even know if I want the stone, actually. But it is kind of a cornerstone. If I come back, it might be a little bit problematic for him. Okay, that's what I kind of wanted him to do. Gives me a free move here, which is great. This time I'm not going to take the Joseki. I'm just going to do that. And extend this way, because that gets rid of some of his possibilities over here. Force this way. There's territory here, obviously. That's fine. If I do this, he can come down this way. It's going to secure here. I don't think he should have connected that, but it's his prerogative. I'm not going to try to run this stone, but I am going to try to take a little bit advantage of this stuff. To see what happens if I play here. Okay, kind of what I expected. Go this way, I guess. I don't really know what the purpose of that move was. I just wanted to make a little bit of territory here. Spent a lot of stones here just capturing this one stone, so that's definitely like not worth. I'm going to secure more of my territory down here. Let's play a couple of Sentes. Otherwise, I don't really know. There could be a problem down here if he does that, though. So I need to solve this issue here. That's actually pretty big. But I still get this territory here. He might be trying to get this territory in here. But I have ways to kind of counter that, so it's okay. There is potential for him here, though. You don't want to, you really don't want a Hane. I think there's too many openings for him to actually make a decent territory here, is my opinion. Probably should have done this first and then gone on the bottom. Okay, it's fine. If I do that, he can actually come down here, so I can't do that. So it might just be best if I leave this alone for now. All right, see ya, man. That's fine. Couple points down there you definitely denied. Not really sure what that's for, but sure, I'll play along. Okay, if I come up here, he can actually cut here, which is not good. I can just come this way for the most part. There's not that many points over there. Actually, you know what? I should have thrown in, because then I messed up. I should have thrown in. I definitely should have thrown in. I messed that up. That's good. Is there anything bigger than this right now? I actually don't know if there's anything bigger than this right now. This doesn't threaten me. I think this is bigger. It's okay. I think this is Sente, so he has to answer. I don't think I'm going to answer this. I think I am going to come out this way, though. There was still some potential for points here for him. It doesn't really worry me because I can just come out that way as well. This group's not really threatened. It's taking all the cornerstones though, so that is actually pretty big. That particular move I don't think is that great. I guess there's a couple points there. I don't know if it's worth answering. But I do know that I have to connect this now. That's actually fairly large. That's not great because now he has this. Actually, probably should have done that first, but it doesn't really matter all that much, I guess. I should have taken the stone down here, probably. No, wrong order. Atari, 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 and then play here. If you're playing blitz games against a stronger player, then the actual advantage he has is bigger than the difference between you because stronger players are just going to be more familiar with certain shapes. So he will be able to give you a lot more handicap in like a blitz setting than a regular setting. Like 10 minutes and then think 5 rounds of 30 is more regular.
You have won.
All right, timeout. I think I'm pretty much ahead anyway. So that's the game right now. Let's go back and review this game. So, I mean, here I still feel like basically that is probably what you want to go with as black. Jumping out's fine, actually. Jumping out's not too bad. That I don't think is a great move. I think you should just probably play here immediately and see what black does. But either ways, and also like I think this is the if you want to do that, you would want to do something like that. I might just play here, but then you can just come out here and go play somewhere else. Here you definitely want to extend up. This is This move is critical. I probably should have just Atari'd here at this point because if you come down here, I can just jump down here. Yeah, letting me take this stone is a big disadvantage to black right now. It basically completely solidifies white's shape. I have no more cuts anywhere, and you have this kind of weakish group out here. Going there is okay. I'm gonna come up here just to. I'm playing like on top. You're playing on bottom, and there's not too many points down here, so it's okay. That I'm gonna extend obviously. That's just giving me a Sente right now, but you kind of have to do it because otherwise this group is weak. So you let me make a really kind of a strong group out here. You got me some territory on the side here, you got a little bit of a corner, but your shape's not that good. And I got Sente. You did get this move, though, so it's not a total loss. So I'm just going to come out here. So with this move, this is the right way to go. This is a pretty big corner here. So if I invaded lower, then if I invaded lower here, then this kind of like shoulder move is the way to go. But if I invade higher here, it's not bad, but it's not the one. It's not quite as good. I'm gonna go here, come back here. This is a very, very bad move. You just do this. I would just do that. You just kind of like come up. That's how you would play that. This is a really bad move because it doesn't matter what I do. You'll actually see it just a little bit later. See, like if this move hadn't been like, it destroys one of your liberties, and it's just a really it's kind of just a really kind of weird group. Because now, like if I play here, right, and I take this, you still have this weird cut here that you have to deal with. So it's just not. This is a move that like almost, unless you have a very specific reason for doing this, because it doesn't really connect your stones. It doesn't connect your stones. Your stones are already connected. It just gets rid of one liberty and it gives you a really bad shape. So you don't want to do that. Sente over here, so I'm going to come over here. It was a while before I decided what to do. So I decided to come here and then play up here. This is a mistake. I should have just probably done this. I wanted to make the shape, but it's too easy of an invasion down here. So that's why coming up was a mistake. Invading, cap, go here. This is a bad move. Me actually having this solidified makes like moves like C13 so much easier for me. So that's a bad move. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this just to try to get a little bit on the bottom here, connect, and then that's not worth responding to because there's not a really good way to respond to it. And if you spend a couple of moves taking that one stone, it's fine for me. So I'm gonna come down here directly. This you either go on top or you go on bottom, depending on like if you just want to give up the stone, that's fine. You can get some advantages on the bottom, obviously. If you want to go on top and fight, that's okay as well. Me, if I was black, I would just go on the bottom. Giving up this one stone while getting some bottom advantages is perfectly fine with me. But you definitely want to you definitely want to answer this. You can't just let me like Hane here or Hane here. You're giving up way too much over here in that case. And the one stone doesn't really make up for it. Spending another move capturing this, but the thing is like you still haven't completely captured it yet. So like when you do this, you spent 3 stones capturing this one stone. It's not really worth it. Come here, force here, go here, and then go there because, you know, that is actually somewhat troublesome. I don't think you should have connected right now though. I don't know where else would be a bigger move, but I don't think this is the best move right now. Come up this way. I'm trying to make some territory over here. Although like this might have just been better if I just did this. Trying to make some territory up here. Follow through, like make a little bit of territory there. It's not really all that much. And then like playing here to try to force some kind of answer here. I still think if I just played here, it probably would have been better. Because if you do this, I can always do this. So probably like playing a stone on this side is more worthwhile than playing a stone over here right now. This is just one of those Sente moves that I don't think you would actually answer this right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like maybe 10 points in there, so you'd probably go just invade or something. Here you did not actually answer me. This I'm not really sure how much it's actually worth. I probably should have just ignored this as well. and just fix this down here. I think this is probably like the biggest move right now. I just misjudged this. I misjudged the number of points. That's fine. That's kind of weird. But anyways, if you're going to do this, you might as well just finish this and have this moyo and try to make some points up here. Maybe you would, before you do this, you kind of would do this as well. And just kind of force. Maybe get some points up here. So I'm not really sure how to answer this. That's why I didn't answer it. I could have just done this, which is probably what I should have done. But that I don't like the thing of like giving you like giving you this. I do get points on the bottom, but I wasn't really sure if I was worth it. So I just took the. So I just did this. That's fine. Taking this stone, like the last move, taking this stone, I probably wouldn't have done because it's not that big right now. Once you've done this already, it's not really that big. Just gonna go ahead and take the Sente, come up here to make sure this group isn't really in danger anymore. That just solidifies this group. I generally wouldn't do this trade right now because later you do have this move and this group still doesn't have 2 eyes. But once you do this, the group does have 2 eyes. Not that you could successfully attack it right now, but later on, maybe. I don't really see the point of like moves like this. It just makes me stronger. And it takes Aji possibility out later. Block this way. Gonna do that. Here I feel like if you want to answer, you would just do this. Come out here. I was wondering if you would actually do this and fight. Not that I don't think it would. I don't know if it would benefit you right now, but I was wondering about that. So I made a mistake here. I should have played this. You can't connect. I saw that like right after I played it. So I made a mistake here. Here, yeah, I'm going to try to break some points first because there's an obvious weakness here. Here, right after you do this, you need to do this. That's Sente both ways, and it's very big. So once you did this, I'm going to do that. This is Sente, because if you don't play, I'm going to play B4. This is you know, the thing is, like, if I'm going to play this, if I'm going to actually play this as black, I'm going to go ahead and do that and see, like, what the fight brings on here. If white does this, I would do that. As black, I don't think it's that much of a threat down here, and I can't really connect, and white, I don't think can connect this stone, so realistically, like, I would definitely try to fight this at this point. I don't think it would work because I don't really think it would actually work at this point. That would actually give problems because your liberties are too tight. But I don't, like I said, I don't think it would work at this point, but I would give it a shot anyways. But either way, you took that. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I don't think this is that great because this is actually a fairly big stone. I'm going to go ahead and take that. This is not that great because now I can take this stone as well. I'm just playing I'm just taking advantage of any Sente I can get. This obviously is a mistake. You just do this. So yeah, that is the review of this game. I don't really know what the main lesson of this game is. I think like the main thing is where black lost most of the advantage is actually this corner Sente. I think this is playing way too loose, and you're leaving a lot of Ataris and cuts for white, so you don't really want to do that. So that's the review of this game. Please like and subscribe, guys. Hit the bell notifications button. I will be back hopefully tomorrow, maybe on Monday, and I'll see you guys later.